everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of Houston is Inspired with your host, Savannah Jones on Afrovibes TV. I'm here with my special guest, Dr. Eunetra Ellison.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, hi. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. It definitely means a whole lot. Also, today is International Women's Day, so it's definitely the perfect day to have you on here. So I would like to start by this. Can I just have you introduce yourself to the audience and kind of let them get to know you a little bit?
Absolutely. Well, I'm Dr. Eunetra Ellison. I am an educational leader. And in addition to that, I have a passion for students, communities, and beyond. And I'm happy to be here today to share with you.
Awesome. Yeah, that's definitely exciting. So one reason why I really wanted to have you on the show is I am such a fan of your vibe. I'm such a fan of the things that you've accomplished. When you walked into the room and the first time that I met you, I just was hit right away with such like an awesome presence. When you walked in, you had a beautiful smile. You shook my hand nice and firm. You made direct eye contact. I just felt this like power coming off of you when you came in the room. So I was definitely excited to have you on here and kind of be an influence for other young girls that may be watching you or anyone in the audience that is wanting to learn a lot. And one thing that I wanted to have as a premise for this show is if you want to be the best, learn from the best, if that makes sense. So Dr.
Absolutely.
Eunetra, you are highly educated, you are very empowered, and so I believe that the audience has a lot to learn from you.
Well, thank you for saying that, Savannah. And likewise, I think you're aspiring to great things, and I'm happy to be on your show today.
Thank you. Thank you. So my first question on here as well would be, how would you define success and what is your version of success?
Well, I would say that there is a different definition of success for everyone. But for me, it's about impact. And from a very early age, I wanted to make an impact on my community. So I happened to be an educational leader in the same community that reared me. And that has given me much purpose, much passion. And to see the community that I work in continue to become more successful to me is a reflection of the true epitome of what success really means.
Wow.
We've got a long way to go, but to see that there is progress is what is important to me.
Yeah, yeah. It's it's pouring back into your own cup. It's, somewhere that you grew up and that you started and then now you're giving back to them and you're improving their quality of education. I think that's wonderful.
Thank you.
That's definitely a, full circle moment for sure. So,
Absolutely.
very cool. How did your story begin? Can you take us back to the very beginning, the roots of what make you who you are today?
Absolutely. Well, it actually started, and I am now currently a director of Head Start, which means that I work with infants from 6 weeks up to 3 years old.
Wow.
And when I tell you I knew what I wanted to be since the day that I could remember, as far back as 3 years old, playing with Cabbage Patch dolls and lining them up and taking the extra worksheets from my teachers to take home. And my poor little brother, Jared, shout out to him because he was my first live student.
Oh,
And when I tell you, from paddling him to forcing him to do worksheets at times that he did not even want to do anything other than go outside to play basketball. And he's ultimately a basketball coach to this day.
wow.
And so to me, knowing that is what started my journey. That is why I'm very purposeful about, even from 6 weeks old, you have children that are showing different talents and strengths that if we just pay a little bit more attention, we can see those things and keep pushing them in the direction that they need to go. And so my leadership journey, my current journey, also starts with my parents. They were very involved, and I thank God for them every single day. They're in their 70s now and still going strong, going to different college games, along with my daughter, who is 16 now, and she's a volleyball star. But I would say my road to success started with my family as well.
Amen. Amen. I agree with that. Wow. That's so touching to start. Like, bam, we just start boom, touching, beautiful story. You have
Thank
such a beautiful family. You really do.
Thank you.
I love that, you used your brother as kind of someone to start your journey of education and success with, and, how you've been so close to your family. I think that's wonderful.
Yes.
I often do that too. So I actually also coach children, and I
Wow.
coach ages 4 to 18. So I
Okay.
totally understand what you're saying by even the youngest ones have talents, they have
That's right.
interests, and those interests and talents need to be nurtured.
Absolutely.
And if they are nurtured, it leads to so much success in the future. I have parents that are putting their kids into sports, starting at 4 years old,
Mhm.
and they might not be able to, do much yet, but it starts that passion and it starts that work ethic, and they grow up to be strong people like you. So I think that's really wonderful. It's a great message.
Thank you.
For sure. And I hope that, when her family is watching today, that you guys give her a big hug. And, I want you guys to be proud of her. And I'm sure you already are. And that's amazing. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
Thank you.
So let's go to the next question. What are your proudest accomplishments so far? And how did it feel to achieve those goals?
Well, I am a first generation college graduate, so that was one of my proudest accomplishments. And even though I was an honor roll student throughout my academic career, there was still a point in time that I didn't really truly believe that it could happen for me. And again, on paper, I had the grades, but it took me believing that this could be accomplished because so many people were even smarter than I was or could ever be, but didn't necessarily meet that milestone. So I would say that was my proudest accomplishment. And in addition to that, becoming the principal of the school where my mother attended, which is one of the oldest campuses in the school district that I serve, and taking that campus from an F to a B, and then sustaining growth in a way that allowed them to become a magnet school of distinction this year. And so to see that success through my students and again from my community has been an astronomical feat for me.
Wow. Wow. Honestly, I have usually a lot of things to say, but that swept me off my feet. That right there is amazing.
Yes, and
Very
in
powerful.
addition, I didn't mean to interject, but it's rodeo season, and I generally don't dress. Well, I am over the top, but
Hey, I love it though. We
I
love
just left the
fashionistas.
rodeo, and I can assure you that one of our students has represented our school district in some capacity at the Houston Rodeo School Art Auction. In fact, last year, one of our students won a prize, a second grader, mind you,
Wow.
of $57,000. So just,
57.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's gonna pay for a lot of Legos.
I thought I was going to auction for the painting. Definitely exceeded my ability, but to see that was amazing.
I can only imagine how much that influenced that child's
Yeah.
life, how that could give them a passion to
Absolutely.
go into, everything and that level of competition. I
Yes.
mean, you're nurturing children from a young age, you're giving them a platform to achieve. And I think a lot of that we can stem back to your feelings being a first generation college student, paving your way to success. And now that you've made your way, you're like, I can do this for other people. I can help other people
That's
do
right.
this. And that's wonderful. Those are the type of stories that I want to hear on this show, people paving the way for others. And I'm really excited to hear you speak at our upcoming conference. There is a conference coming up for women's empowerment called Empower Her Hope 2025. And you can get tickets for it at empowerherhope.org. She's going to be one of our keynote speakers there. I will be on the panel interviewing people, and it's going to be a really fun event. It's definitely going to be a lot of powerful stories, just like Dr. Ellison. And I'm really excited to get you up there on the stage and to hear your full story in front of everyone and to see everyone's reaction, because just me and you here, I'm so touched by, the expression and passion that you have on your face when you're sharing these, things. And I'm definitely ready for more. I'm ready to share that with other girls and see you impact others as well. So that's really awesome. Okay, so what did you feel like your biggest mistakes were along the way?
I would say believing that I have to do everything myself.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, as I have matured, I've come to the understanding of God is always with us.
Amen.
So we are never alone in that capacity, but also here on earth, we have other people that we can collaborate with. My biggest accomplishment would not have been possible without my team, our art teacher, Mr. McMillan, Miss Sherman, who was one of our instructional coaches, my assistant principals. And so when I leaned into the fact that, yes, I have some qualities and talents that make me a great leader, when I open myself up to work cohesively with my team, despite any differences, that is when I've had the biggest success.
Yeah, yeah, working with a team, collaboration, good communication skills, all that's so important. When you're working with kids and you're working, for school districts, it takes a village. It really does.
Right.
It takes a village just for one child. And then
That's
you have to imagine how many kids you have in that situation, the entire stress you have with that. Every child is different as well. So kids learn differently and respond differently to things. And how would you feel that you handle those types of situations of learning how to work with different types of kids? Would you say that is something that comes pretty easily to you, to understand others?
It does. I think that, again, back to my story of just wanting to understand what students need to be successful, even from the time of playing with my little brother being my only student. I saw his abilities. And even as he embarked upon high school and he ended up following me to the same college, just knowing the beginning roots of how a child starts is very important. In addition to that, knowing that if I can be a partner for parents, because sometimes we need encouragement as parents.
Yes,
I'm a
absolutely.
mother of a wonderful 16-year-old, but again, I couldn't do it alone.
Mhm.
And so just being that partner for parents and sometimes calming their fears
Mm.
is part of my purpose as well.
Oh, yeah. And that's so important too. I notice that when I'm coaching students, a lot of times I will be dealing with the student, they'll be doing great, and then I send them, home with their parent and I'll listen to kind of what they're saying to their child. And, sometimes there's a breakdown in communication between
Yes.
parent and child. And, sometimes the parent will understand, why a child may not be performing their best or may not be, telling them everything that's happening in school and stuff like that. So when you say like you have to go to the parent, that is so important because if you can help a parent, understand their child better and start to mend their relationship at home, that translates as well to the classroom and their grades will improve, their performance improves. So that's a very smart approach to take to it for sure, to not just deal with the child, but also include the parent in that process is very nice. So when you were in college, what did you study?
I studied international education, and also I have a master's of education in educational administration and a PhD in educational leadership.
That's awesome. I'm a fan. I'm not gonna lie, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I hate to cut it off now, but we'll be back after this commercial break. Hey everyone, welcome back to Houston's Inspired. So, continuing where we left off, my next question to you is, what does empowerment mean to you?
Well, empowerment for me means to encourage and to give power to others outside of yourself. And I've been empowered by many people. I've talked about my parents, but also the educators along the way. Sylvester Turner, rest in peace to Congressman Turner and Sheila Jackson Lee, two of the biggest leaders that I can remember in our community that have taken a personal interest in my leadership journey. I've been able to sit alongside them in different community engagements, and I just thank God for the village around me. And so it is my responsibility now to empower the children that I serve, the families that I serve, and just the whole community.
Wow, I love that answer. You're such a superhero. You know that? You really are. And superheroes, you think of, the capes and the bright colors and all that, but you're walking in bright purple and such a fashionable outfit, and you're like, I'm going to help the community. I'm going to give back to those that gave to me. I'm going to pay respect and honor those who came before me and continue their legacy.
Absolutely.
And that to me is a real life superhero. So
Oh, thank you.
I love that for you. I think that's awesome. And I'm so excited to hear you speak at the conference because I know that superhero energy is going to project to everyone that's listening. And it's really going to touch some hearts, and it's definitely touched mine. So I'm
Thank
definitely
you.
excited. And I love what you said about, respecting those that came before you. And I think that's important to remember that right now and to keep them in your heart as you continue forward and continue to do wonderful work in the community.
Absolutely.
All right. So next, what inspires you the most? What motivates you to stay on the right path?
I am inspired by potential in people.
Hmm.
And I intentionally have worked with underserved communities because I believe that whether it's a student discovering their talent or even a teacher refining their craft or an organization finding its way to a breakthrough, there's growth and transformation that occurs within that process. And so that is what inspires me, seeing the breakthrough. I know that as a leader, I've had a lot of successes, but I've had failures as well. So embracing those failures and helping others that might be going through a pitfall see from my example as I share with them, okay, I failed in this capacity. You might feel like you're not where you want to be, but if you keep the faith and continue on your journey and maybe find the resources that you need to be more successful, there's not a limit to what can be done. And so that is just my purpose in making sure that not only do I see the inspiration in my community, but also that I can be an inspiration to others as well.
That's amazing. Very powerful. Is there a deeper reason that you choose to help underserved communities or impoverished communities? Is there some type of emotional or personal type of reason that you have behind that at all?
Absolutely. Most of my family is impoverished. Um, I was thankful to have two working class parents from humble beginnings, but there's not much difference between myself and the person who's frankly transient or on the street, except for I have tapped into different resources and I have taken different challenges and I've reached different milestones that they might not have. But as far as being a human being, we're fundamentally all the same. And so I think I'm most passionate about what people would call the underdog, because my favorite movies even are those that are about the underdog attaining a level of success that people thought were unimaginable. So those are the things that drive me. I've experienced it for myself. And I always want to be the person to pick that person up and let them know that they also can have access to the same things that I have, maybe at a different rate. Maybe they are 60 and just embarking upon their educational journey. Maybe they had a GED all their life and thought that they could never go back to school. And so, just finding people as I cross paths with them and letting them know that they can too be successful.
You're a very giving soul. Like, you're a very giving person. You know that? Like, me just listening to you before we started this interview, I knew that you were speaking at our conference. I knew that, you're a very powerful woman, but I did not realize how deep your soul is and how much you really care about the work that you're doing and the people that you're helping.
Thank you.
And I can see the emotion, when you talk about it, and I can see the passion when you talk about it. And I hope that all educators out there that are watching this, or, people that are interested in education, that they can learn something from that part of you, if that makes sense. Not just, going through the daily motions of the job, or, doing it for the money, or doing it, just to have a stable source of income, but to also do it for the deeper reason underneath that, to help those that may not be in the same position as you, but you can relate to them, you can understand their struggle. And you're like, I can help them. I want to give back to them. I want to, if I can't save everyone, I can at least do what I can to improve their journey, to improve their quality of life. And that's a hard thing because as an educator, and I understand because I'm a coach, you want to save every child.
Mhm.
Every single child, you want to help them individually, and you get attached and you get, those feelings of, I just want to take them from whatever struggle they're going through and take them out of it and put them somewhere better. But, that's not always how life works. And that's
Mhm.
not, what God's plan is for everyone.
Right.
But you are stepping in and being like, you know what, if I can't take them out of the impoverished community, if I cannot remove them from the circumstances, I can at least improve their circumstances and give them as much as I can give them, even though that may not be only self-serving, because self-serving would be, I'm just gonna, teach a class and I'm gonna go and, do what I want to do. But you are acting in the interest of, the people around you, and you're trying to help, and you have this umbrella of help that's going around in the world, and that's very powerful. So I commend you for that, and I'm definitely inspired by that. So and you're getting me choked up. So, what are your dreams for the future? And have you taken any new steps toward reaching those dreams?
Absolutely. I have recently embarked upon a career in entrepreneurship. I can't even believe I'm saying it because
Okay.
I have actually worked for the district that I serve for 26 years.
Wow.
And so to even fathom that I'm now at a place in my life where I'm closer to retirement, praise God, I'm able to say that as well.
Wow.
But I have pretty much mastered the art of helping organizations to improve. And it's because of my work as a principal, as currently a Head Start director, and working in some of the most underserved communities. I know what it takes to make those types of environments successful. And so, with that, I am launching Ellison Empire. I will say it's very near and dear to me that this journey to entrepreneurship continues because this week, this same day last year, it was actually March 10th when my cousin succumbed to mental health and some things that were transpiring in her workplace environment. She was an OBGYN, and she was actually on the board of directors for Ellison Empire because we were both Dr. Ellisons, and we talked about our aspirations for maybe branching out and using our expertise in different ways in education and medical environments. And to know that I have to move forward without her sitting alongside me is very difficult. But I'm a firm believer in this is the greater purpose. I just got caught up.
Can I give you a hug?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't really mean to share that.
No, it's okay.
But it's Women's Empowerment Month. It's also Self-Harm Awareness Month. And so I would be remiss to not mention that on this platform because it's real.
Yeah.
Dr. Dana Ellison, I will always say her name in full because she was a very rare spirit. When you talk about giving, a lot of what you see today is because of the time I was able to spend with her, to see how she poured into others. She delivered hundreds and hundreds of babies.
Wow.
And just traveled the world and researched our roots and just did so many amazing things that I was proud of. So to know that she's not here to even partake in this conference, she would definitely be sitting in the front row. She loves Amanda Edwards. Shout out to Amanda. I went to high school with her. So I'm very, very, very inspired to see that she's going to be one of our keynote speakers. And I know she probably has a step away for the funeral that's taking place for Congressman Turner. And so there are a lot of historical and just spiritual significance to participating in this conference.
Yeah.
And one of the greatest ones being just in memorial to my sweet cousin that I can't believe is not here.
I'd like to say that their words will live through you.
Yes.
When you get up there and speak at this conference, I just know that their spirit and their energy will be there with you.
Yes.
And it'll come out in your words. And the whole audience, we're all going to be crying. I know instantly. And I'm really, really excited for that, for you and for all of us. And I'm very proud of you. And I don't know if educators hear that enough, but I'm very proud of you for being so strong and being on this show today, in light of, the passing of Sylvester Turner and, in passing of your other Dr. Ellison.
Yes. Yes.
It's hard. It's really hard to be strong when you're missing someone,
Exactly.
but it's empowering to speak in their place and to speak through their spirit. And so I'm really excited to hear it. I am.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And I'm proud of you too.
Thank you.
You're doing
Thank
amazing
you.
things.
I love to hear that. I need to hear that sometimes because I've had my own share of mental health struggles, and I've been to therapy, and actually recently that's something I've been diving into. I've been going to church every Sunday, and I've been going to therapy and working on my mental health, because when you're in a position where you coach or teach others, a lot of times you put on this smile every day, and
Right.
like you have to be strong for everyone around you. And so sometimes it's nice to hear, hey, I'm proud of you. You're doing well, or, thank you. And I'd also like to say, thank you for everything that you've done for those kids, for everything that you've done for those who have passed. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And from all of our listeners watching, I'm sure y'all could say the same thing. Thank you, Dr. Ellison.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience today?
Well, I would just say, if you don't have your tickets yet, I know that Savannah's going to pitch how to access those tickets, but this is one conference you don't want to miss. Not only because I will be there, but because of the power of connecting women from different backgrounds with the same purpose of empowering each others. And this time, we're going to actually do what we speak. We're going to speak empowerment, but we're also going to connect moving forward in a way that helps us all as women to overcome the challenges that we have because of our gender, to continue to be successful in solidarity. So I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely. And to finish out, please come to our Empower Her Hope 2025 conference, and you can get your tickets at empowerherhope.org. Thank you so much, Dr. Ellison.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Savannah.
And the world, stay inspired.